this week's weekly watch list. Obviously, I'm going to start by just looking at the US economic calendar and, got a couple of Fed people speaking, nothing crazy, nothing, too grand, but you do need to just understand that, at any single point during the week, Trump can come out and tweet anything and that can make the market shift. So the thing I'm really highlighting this week is we've got the Fed minutes or the FOMC minutes on Wednesday. So this is not the same FOMC as last month where they had an active Fed speaker. That is not this. These are the minutes. And then we've got unemployment. We've got job reports coming out Thursday. So that's unemployment numbers and jobless claims and employment numbers. So that comes out this Thursday. Another Fed speaking on Thursday as well. But again, it's not Jerome Powell. Let's put it that way. Okay. So yeah, that's the main things to watch this week. Like I said, FOMC minutes and then job reports Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, the kind of the days you want to look out for those kind of things. Um, then I definitely say I want to look at the fear and greed index. So the fear and greed index, guys, look at where we are. We're in extreme fear territory, right? We're in extreme fear territory. So honestly, Warren Buffett did say be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy. I mean, in this case, I would say I'm not going to be greedy just yet. I want to see the market come down, which we're going to talk about in a little sec. But I want to see the market come down first before I, start buying calls, um, start buying, long-term stocks, all that kind of stuff, even the leaps. Because I have a couple of leaps already sitting in my portfolio, and they're already down. I'll be honest, they're already down, right? PayPal is down, Facebook, so Meta is down, Chipotle is down. All of those are long-term plays. Now, am I going to go and just, double down and triple down right away? No, of course not. Because if the market comes down even further, those ones are going to come down even further. So I got to move where I got to move smart and then play it out how the market's giving it to me. But yeah, we're in extreme fear territory, and it's the same place as last week. We're in extreme fear territory. Throughout the last few months, we've been, slowly getting from greed to neutral to fear. And now we're in extreme fear. The past, I'd say this month we've been in extreme fear. Um, Honestly, I'm intrigued to see how the market fares because this past week was a roller coaster. I put up the S&P 500 for you guys. This week was a roller coaster, really. Let's go to the daily time frame, okay? And so, obviously, what do we notice first thing first? We came down to the 50-year EMA again. We were here the week before, like, last week, Friday, before I did that watch list. We came down to the 50 EMA. We come down here again. We came from Monday to Wednesday, we ran up and we came down the rest of the week. Now, it's no secret that, this market is cooking us in different ways, right? I lost five figures on the trade just because, tried to continue taking the market higher before it got, the hammer candle and the rejection and the sell-off. But one thing I definitely learned from this market is those first 15, 30 minutes. I'm gonna do this so you guys can see what I'm referring to. Those first 15 minutes, 30 minutes, it's honestly best to stay patient. This is what happened Thursday to Friday, okay? And yes, this is a weekly watch list, so we're gonna talk about the stocks to watch for this week. But look what happened Friday. Thursday overnight gap down. They ran it up for the first 30 minutes. They pulled it back a little bit, consolidated it before pushing it up again. So the reason I'm saying that is because what exactly could prompt us to gap down and just run back up, right? Run back up to past where we closed at. What could prompt that, right? It's the market makers, it's how they're playing the game. And I just want you to be aware of that. I just want to put that on your radar, remind you. Them first 15, 30 minutes when the market starts pumping up and recovering, sure, you're missing out on percentage gains. Sure. But let's go back to Wednesday. All right, let's go back to Wednesday. Look what happened Wednesday. We gapped up overnight. This is what I'm saying. We gapped up overnight, Tuesday night to Wednesday night to Wednesday morning. We gapped up, and then what happens? We sold off all the way. So we did the inverse of Friday, right? Friday was a Thursday to Friday was a gap down. Oh no, wait, sorry. Thursday to Friday was a gap down and a run up. Again, like giving people the happiness overnight. Yeah, we got the calls. Sorry, we got the puts. We made money on the puts, and they run the market back up. Wednesday to Tuesday to Wednesday, they gapped it up, sold it all the way off, and then consolidated it and chopped it out. Yeah, it's a tough market, and I just want you to remember that. I just wanted to highlight that before I even talk about, some stocks to watch this week. So this week I have eight top stocks to watch personally. I think I don't need any more than that, but what I want to do is do it slightly differently. So I'm going to take you guys' suggestions first. I'm going to take your suggestions first, and then I'm going to talk about my eight stocks. I want to see who's done their homework, who's, slacking, who's lacking, who's got a good eye on something, and then I'm going to take it from there. So I know the chat here is disabled because we've had some issues in the past, a lot of craziness going on. But you can put them in the Discord chat. I'll break it down live. I'll tell you what I see. I'll tell you if I like it, if I don't like it, and then I'll talk about my eight top stocks to watch. So I'm gonna spend max probably 25 to 30 minutes. It's 5:14 my time now. So let's say 30 minutes for you guys to break down you guys stocks, and then we'll just talk about my eight for the last 15 minutes. But again, I am sorry that the chat is disabled. The last time we did this on Zoom, there was obviously a lot of nonsense and people not being serious. So yeah, all right. I'm gonna check the Discord chat, put it in there, and then we can go through that. And we'll see the attack sell off short term blip. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Could you check DG, boss? All right, let's do it. DG. All right. So DG, Dollar General. Okay. Thank you. Can't actually see your name, but the guy with the little profile picture. DG. So I'm gonna start here with a weekly time frame. Okay, get an overview of how it looks at the past week. It had a really nice week last week. We closed bullish. We closed above the 9, the 21, and the 50 EMA, and I like that. So what first thing I'm gonna do here is just plot a little level. Um, let me see. Let me see. There we go. See? So I'm gonna plot this level here, and then I'm gonna plot this level here. $2 away from each other. Yeah. All right. Cool. So anyway, I'm plotting that level just in case we come back down. I want to see where I could take it for puts. But I like the weekly chart. Now, if I go to daily time frame, looks like we've got a double bottom off that, that level I just drew. Right. We've got a nice double bottom pattern. If you don't know what that is, let me just kind of clear it out for you. Bang, cut up, come back to the same level and go up. So three things I like about this pattern right here. We've got the daily close above the 50 EMA. We got a clear double bottom forming, and then again the weekly time frame closing above all three EMAs. So I like it what it's doing right here. For me, we'll probably try and get back to this high up at 108.18. Reason being, not only is that the monthly high of October, but it's also a reversal spot. So calls to 108. Where is it? Let's see. What's the level? 108.34 is the exact level I'll look for. I think that's a clear reversal spot. And I also do think that, some of these stocks, their pump, their gain is short-lived. This could be another one. Again, a $4 run is not bad. A nice, 3-4% return. But yeah, that's what I would look at for that. I do like that. I do like that how it looks. I do like this chart. I think it's very clean. Yeah. Let me just check out the other time frames before I go into anything else. So 4 hour got an inverted hammer. That's nice. You got a bullish engulfing here as well. Yeah, this is looking good. Thank you for sharing that. Now, can you check out NVO calls but longer term, not weekly? Cool. NVO. Okay. Keep the stocks coming, folks. Only two people have suggested. Keep the stocks coming. It's always good if you do your research, you do your homework, if you get a second opinion on whatever stocks you're trading. Let me see. Let's zoom out. All right, so we're obviously at the lows. Oh, we've been selling off heavily. We've been selling off heavily. Interesting. So I'm gonna zoom out to see what we did last at this level. Let me see. So we're similar to we're at this similar support level to where we were previously back earlier at the beginning of the year. So I'm just gonna draw some levels, just plot some levels here. I do like the look of it, but again, there's a few things I'm gonna be looking for. All right, cool. There's one level. There's two level. All right, nice. So I have a level there drawn at, let me see, 45.88 and 47.53. So some, yeah, this is some nice levels. But like I said, overall, she said for the long term. So first thing is, if I'm going to get in any kind of course for this, probably going to do my research because I just need to know, more about the company and understand what I'm getting into. Secondly, I think personally, when you look at something like this, you got to wait for it to start coming back above the EMAs, right? It is clearly bearish. But again, to see where it's come from, 130, 140, there's no reason we can't get back there. But what you want to do in these kind of situations is figure out you know, what kind of issues have caused it to gap down from 70 to, 45? What's caused it to sell off for the past 11 months? All those kind of things. I don't want anyone to get into something which is a falling knife, of course, but at the same time, I don't want anyone to miss out on opportunity for the long run. Me personally, again, looking at the weekly and the daily, even any of the higher time frames, I would say I want it to start coming back up above, like I want it to come back above at least a 9, 21, show that it's got a clear reversal happening. So when I say a clear reversal, right? This this kind of stuff is not bad, right? Because it's got a push up to the EMAs, but it gets rejected by the EMAs, it sells off again. So a clear reversal, honestly, would probably be above the 50 EMA here. Probably above the 50 EMA, right? As you see, guys, it has sold off for 5 months straight. And overall, if you zoom out even further, you'll see again, you know, it's got a lot of recovery potential, but again, it's been selling off, selling off, selling off, and it's back at the January lows. So I'm not trying to touch this out while it's down here. But again, I think longer term, yeah, I think this is potentially a good idea, but you just need to do your research on it and then take it from there. Let me check who else got something. Lyft calls Tesla. Tesla what? Beyond calls this. Um, I'll go for Tesla, but I'll just wait for Dylan to say if he's looking at calls or puts. What's up? I do think Tesla on the right day can be a beast. It can be a beast. It can be a different beast because obviously you guys saw what we did Friday, right? Now, congrats to those who actually took it. That was a good opportunity. That was a good opportunity, but Tesla didn't go the way I needed it to go. But yeah, let me see what Dylan's saying, and then I'll take it from there. Yeah, let's see. All right, cool. Both. All right. So first of all, I'm gonna go to the weekly chart. Let me line this one up. So weekly chart is kind of nasty. Got a wick of the 21 EMA, so that's cool. It's just telling us where price can come down to, but it got the wicks up there on my level of resistance. Again, telling us where Tesla can go up or down. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll be honest. You know, if I go to the daily time frame, this is where it gets kind of bleak for Tesla. It's like it wants to come down lower. We kind of got a little bit of a relief bounce out of the put action. Hammer candle got slapped down the EMAs below all three EMAs on the daily time frame, and now, ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. It's crazy because now, it's sold. It can sell off to 359 on the with the bear market. Let's say the SPX. let's say the S&P 500 breaks the 50 EMA, we break below the 50 EMA, we close below the 50 EMA, we start selling off like we did back here, with the Trump announcement. Let's see if Tesla can go touch that 359. At the same time, watch this. We scroll left a little bit, zoom out a bit, scroll left a bit. Here I go. So this level here, I'm gonna put it there because there's a lot of wicks going, a lot of wick action, right? Here we go, right here. There's a lot of wick action, and yeah, 374 is another level for me, right? So we might not all go the way down to 359. 374 might be a level we come wick to. I don't know. Like a lot of price action on Tesla can be really musty sometimes, and it can start doing stuff that you never expected. I would say personally, you know, just I'll take it for day trades, honestly. I'll personally take it for day trades. You know, we could test this level, but we can, Tesla, we could test this level, but we could also look at the gap up here, right? And I'm gonna just zoom this all the way across. I'm gonna zoom it actually, no, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right here, right? And then, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna go all the way down here. Tesla's for me, it's never like whenever people point out Tesla, I more see people smacking it for, day trades. I don't see people swinging Tesla because look, again, if you come back to the 4 hour time frame, what's all this behavior, right? There's nothing clear. Look at this compared to something like Micron, right? Micron, sure, it's a bit janky, but go to the daily time frame. You see where we're going with Micron? Where's the trend? Everyone can see this trend with Micron, right? This is a clear trend. Don't tell me this is not a clear trend. From August, from 116 in August to 255 in November is a clear trend. Tesla, come on. This one's just going from, you know, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And, it's doing all sorts of madness. So, yeah. Tesla's not really a great one for me. Oh, hold on. He's just tagged me in it. Tesla created a gap from 411 to 416 and the gap down, rejected 411 and looks like we're heading back for a retest, but there's a bullish break of structure. Calls if we break 411, taking 415 calls. If we reject, we go back to 397 and 3400. So the way I break that down is I say, yeah, Tesla's not showing nothing clear. It's showing you it wants to go this way, that way, this way. And there's no real clear pullback to go higher. There's no clear rejection. Again, this looked like clear puts. Nah, green candle, great day, relief bounce. Tesla says, I'm gonna start running. Bullish engulfing, bullish engulfing on the 4 hour. Yay. So, didn't, if you're gonna trade it, day trade it. Disney, all right, cool. See what Mickey Mouse and friends talking about. Again, what is this? So you have earnings, you have a very smooth chart, clear level of support, clear level you're holding. You push, you drop off, right? You gap down after earnings, cool. And it looks like every time we get those wicks, we're just coming down lower. Let me go to the daily, back-to-back red days after the earnings. Weekly's probably nasty. Yeah, weekly kind of flipped bearish. It was bullish for a little bit, flipped bearish, trying to come down now. Gosh, yeah, some of these stocks are really ugly, right? Like realistically, you know, we can come down another $5, $6 with Disney. We could, we could come see that $99 level, you know. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. I don't know. It might look like puts for me. 4 hours just again, we got a pretty much a hammer candle, a doji. Bruh, this is not nice. I mean, look, here's where your optimism could come in. We filled this gap, right? We filled this gap clearly. This is where your optimism could come from with Disney. Where is the? Okay, cool. We filled this gap, right? We did, right? We filled this gap it gapped up back in April. We just filled this gap to the downside now. Okay, if I was to draw this across, great. Right, we filled this gap. We're gonna bounce here in this zone now. We've created a zone. Cool. Are we going to bounce here or are we going to sell off to 99? I don't know. Who knows? Again, it's not clear for me. It looks like it's put action for me, but it's not completely clear. But again, the problem with this one, the reason I say it's not clear is it's a post earnings play. If Wall Street or whoever thinks, institutions think, Disney is a great buy at 105, they might start buying it back up and running it up. Same way they did it with Tesla Friday. Tesla was at, I think, 390, 391, maybe lower, right? Tesla was at 383, ran to 412. Disney now, are the institutions going to buy it up because it's at 105? Try to take it back up to, 115, 116? I don't know. Any other place? Stocks. It's good. No one has mentioned a single stock that I'm looking at yet. Buy puts on Palantir, Alibaba, Beyond, Lyft calls. Okay, let's do Lyft. 15 minutes left for you guys to put your stocks in. I'll look at your stocks and then we go into my stocks. All right, cool. Daily time frame on Lyft. Very nice bounce. Obviously, Lyft had a great week. If we pull up the weekly chart, you see it's great, but they pulled the price back down to the end of the day. Inverted hammer there. Daily time frame, what we formed. Well, ended the week with a doji off the 9 EMA. We came down, which is nice. We held the EMAs. That's great. 4 hour time frame. We're under the EMAs, but it might be like, it might be just a little bit pullback to get higher. That's not bad. From the higher time frames, I like what I'm seeing with Lyft. I think again, this is a healthy pullback towards the end of the week. We can go back to touch 25. I do think obviously these are the entries right here. These were the couple entries. The inverted hammer, either of the inverted hammer candles coming off the 50 EMA. I like this one though. I like it. Um, yeah, this is pretty cool. This, if you can see this as well, this is a previous resistance spot, so it might flip to support right now, right here, right? You see a resistance spot. Now it might flip to support. So let's see. If it comes down to 2291 area and holds, it might start uptrending again. Yeah, it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one, Lift. Someone said continue buying puts on Palantir, right? So look at the weekly chart for Palantir. We had our worst week since February up here, and then we followed through with another red week, coming down even further, bouncing off the 21 EMA, wicking off the nine, sorry, wicking off the 21 EMA. Guess what though? Who was it who put that in the chat? Red Hammer. Ironic, there's a red hammer kind of right here. But we're below the 50, we're below the 9, the 21, everything. Palantir, my problem is, right? Let me just plot this level for you guys too. Right? This level comes from this, comes from here. My problem with Palantir here is if you're going to play puts on it, for me again, it's a bit like Tesla. You got to go for the day trade. I think this idea of taking Palantir for a swing trade to the downside, it can work. Yes, it can work. It can work. But until we start breaking further down and down, I feel like the swinging puts has already happened. It's going to be that day trade action, especially if the markets try and recover here and there, bounce here and there, Palantir is going to bounce up with the market, right? As soon as SPY start recovering, Palantir is going to recover too. Swinging it is tough. Swinging it is really tough. I think though, again, if we break this 167 level, maybe the puts for a swing are on for a $15 swing to the downside. $15 drops, I mean, to the downside. So yeah, Palantir, continue buying Palantir puts. I'd say, for me personally, it's not that clear. I can see why you say it, but look, we also gapped up from last Friday to Monday, so I can see why you're saying it. But for me personally, I wouldn't just continue buying puts just anyhow. But you might be right; it might come down further. But again, we came from 208, 210, so we've pulled back a lot. We've pulled back a lot. I'm starting to look for levels where we could hold. 167 could be that level, 6-7. All right, here we go. Now I'm seeing some stocks that I'm watching. I've seen two of them. Two of my eight are in the chat right now. All right, so we're going to talk about Target and Apple. Yeah, the ones that I don't answer right now, there's a reason I'm not answering, obviously. So let's start with Target. I'm going straight to the weekly time frame because you can see it's clearly bearish. We closed below the 9 EMA. Just went like back-to-back weeks now. Now, the thing about Target is I have shares in this company, $93 average cost. The thing about Target is it's very good at underperforming. Earnings is coming up this week, Wednesday. And I think that could be the catalyst for it to either drop down to, 85 or push up to 102. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because last earnings, let's show you what happened, right? We went from 106 all the way down at one point to $93 on target. So, depending on what they announce for earnings, depending on how revenue comes in, how guidance is, how that kind of stuff goes, you know, yeah, Target can really, you know, Target can really make a crazy move in earnings. Again, I'm not gonna be buying it before earnings. I'm a shareholder. I'm not trying to trade this thing. I'll be honest, as a shareholder, I've seen more red than I've seen green. Right? We've had drops, drops on drops on drops on drops. We held my level of support. We recovered, broke above the EMAs just for a reversal at the I don't even know what level this is, but we got a reversal near the $99 level. Okay. Target to me looks bearish. That's my personal opinion. But earnings is coming up. This is interesting though, okay? So the 4 hour time frame had a lot of wicking action around the EMAs, sold off. Now, this candle is really bad. This candle is horrible. This candle is terrible. And you got a bearish engulfing candle. And yeah, this could be signal the pullback to come. It could signal the pullback to come. I don't know how low target's going before earnings. Maybe 86. It could come down to $86. I don't know. But because of earnings, they might hold it up before they drop it all the way. Target is going to be a difficult one to play at this week. I will tell you that. And Apple. Here we go. Apple. So Apple's chart is actually very smooth right now. So the weekly time frame is way up there, right? It's overbought. Way up over there, overbought. Great. Daily time frame. This is why the Apple's chart right now is really nice. So let's be honest. We know Berkshire Hathaway sold Apple. They sold like $1 billion worth of Apple. And yeah, the funny thing is, it still continues going higher, right? Sometimes you think negative news is is gonna affect. Also, sometimes you think news is gonna affect the stock in a negative way, and it doesn't. This is a typical case of that. Okay, look, we come down to the EMAs. And we're coming up higher every time. We come down to the EMAs, we're coming up higher every time. Now, this is what's most important with Apple right now. I showed you the S&P 500, okay? Look at this. Crazy, come to the 50, bounce, come to the 50. Apple didn't do none of that. Apple just continued trending pretty steadily higher, every single time higher. The 4 hour chart is really cool as well, right? The 4 hour chart is doing its thing. So I'm going to draw a box here because we had like a little consolidation spot before we went higher, right? We came higher. Now we came back to the EMAs. We finished this 4 hour kind of finished inside the last one, so it's inside bar right there. Probably pushes Apple higher again, another $5, $6. The 1 hour chart is holding the 50 EMA. It's just a pullback. Last week we traded Apple. I managed to come away with 160% returns. I think Apple pushed even further. Apple, honestly, for a swing trade, this is not bad. I think we did a swing trade last week, which obviously helped the 9 to 5ers, the employees, and we managed to double our money. If Apple can start showing us, consistency, we might be swinging this one a little bit more. It's pretty nice right now. I like what I'm seeing. I don't think, I mean, I personally don't think that this one is there for puts. If anyone's looking at that, I don't think so. Even with the market how it is, pulling back every other day, gapping down every other day, Apple is still holding strong. Apple is still surviving. And then, the big one is we may be getting some insight into Mr. Tim Cook, you know, stepping down and them getting a new CEO in. If that happens, I can tell you this. Apple is going to make some crazy moves to the upside, right? We might see Apple up almost at $300 before the end of the year. I honestly think that. I think you guys know my feelings on Apple as a company. Great company, but just led by a terrible CEO. And I don't think, Tim Cook is the man to take this one to the next levels. Apple is a company who could have been doing much more with AI, much ahead of anybody. Could have been investing in Nvidia from, 5 years ago, longer even. There's a lot of things they could be doing, right? We all know, I mean, well, you might not know, but Tim Cook is in the right mind for the job. So the sooner he's gone, the sooner I have, you know, more hopes in this company, seeing $300 level, seeing, $1 trillion market cap, all that kind of stuff. Where are we at right now with Apple? It's 4 trillion. So yeah, if we can get to Nvidia the 5 trillions, beat Nvidia, be the top $1 trillion company, that'd be great. But I just don't see Apple, doing that. Someone has said, what was it? Beyond Meat, I think. I think someone said Beyond Meat. So this, I mean, let's be honest, when you look at this company, right, from the last 6 weeks, it had one good week. Realistically, there was supposed to be a short squeeze. It was supposed to go to $10. Guess what? We're back down at $1. So when you ask me about Beyond Meat, I can't tell you puts because the put action was from 2 weeks ago. And I definitely can't tell you calls because there's nothing telling me this is going to go up. Sure, you might get a catalyst from somewhere. You might get, I don't know, a short squeeze, but there's nothing that tells me, oh yeah, I want to play this. So sorry. Yeah, there's nothing to tell. Like, I don't even know what I would even be looking at for this. Like, look at this gap down, sell off, gap up. Sorry, gap back to back gap ups, break above the EMAs, just sell off, just to sell off back again. So yeah, nothing here for me. If there's a reason you put it on the radar, you could just let me know in the chat. Just type it in the chat. But I am reading the chat right now. So Apple may need to just keep coming down, but what a run. Yeah, it need to come down. Alphabet and Apple. Yeah, I can look at Alphabet. And Apple need to come down before I say take calls. Yeah. So Alphabet. First of all, weekly chart finished outside week. Clearly bearish. So we got the bearish engulfing candle. And yeah, it can come down. It can come down as well, just like Apple. It can come down, especially if the market wants to sell off. Daily time frame.
I don't care. Oh, I forgot these folks were playing.
Let's
I
see. The
forgot these
level
folks
of
were playing.
support is here, right here, right? We can come down another $7 to 269.
Sure do played today, but they put them out there
Got a bearish engulfing up here,
wrong.
and it gapped down the next day. So not only was this a bearish engulfing, this is a hammer candle as well. Come down again. Google can keep coming down, right? Now, you guys who are in the Discord, you guys know our relationship with Google. We always win, but it doesn't give it up easy. So personally, I'll wait for it to find a level of support,
Which one? Look, I
maybe
need to. Give
consolidate
me the name.
and then begin. Oh,
Hold on,
Kendra,
Asa. Hold on.
Kendra, we hear you dealing with the kids, but you got to mute, please. Thank you, Kendra. Yeah, I can see Google coming down to this level. I'd like to see some consolidation and then a confirmation of a reversal. But I think right now it's starting to pull back a little bit, right? If it does hold a 50 EMA on the 4 hour, like let's say we come down to 269, 270 and we start uptrending, yeah, I'll take calls. But right now, it's in between the EMAs, and that's what I used to trade, right? It's it's not showing me anything to take calls just yet. Not me personally. Now, if this happens where it gaps up, cool. But that ain't gonna happen every time. That's not my technical analysis. That's not how I trade it. So yeah. 2 more minutes for you guys to put your stocks in the chat. Suggest your stocks. I'll look at them. I'll give you my opinion, and then it's my time to shine. Kendra says she wants puts on Apple so bad. I get you. Um, okay, yeah, I've seen some stocks in the chat, but those ones are not. There's a reason I haven't done them yet. You're gonna know in a second. All right, cool. Just keep putting them in the chat. SMCI can't hide. Yeah, bro said hot mic. Rock Dosa, Rock, nice to see you in the building. Right, so SMCI, this has been a bloodbath. Look at the weekly candle. Woo! Back-to-back red weeks where we sold off $18 in the past 2 weeks. So you got that bearish engulfing, but it was a crazy one, you know. So the thing with SMCI, right, we wiped out like 8 weeks of price action. Let's see it. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, 8 weeks of price action came back down to this level. And the follow through from the following week was insane. So this might just be a relief bounce to go lower. One thing about SMCI, actually, hold on, let's check it out. Let's check SMCI a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so they got the nice little rally on Friday. Let's see why they're tanking them. So apparently, the billionaire investor Philippe Lafrance sold his entire stake in the company because he's concerned about their declining profitability and rising competition. We saw this before with other companies, right? When that competition kicks in, investors don't like it. They run, they hide. So yeah, woo, their earnings got trashed. They sold off since. Okay, yeah, SMCI. For me, this is a falling knife. This for me, this can go lower. Let's be honest. This can go lower. Let's go touch these lows, right? This 32 to 31. Like I'm highlighting this by the way. Let's go touch these. Let's go touch these levels right here, right? Which is I'm gonna pull this across. Yeah, let's go touch this level. Let's just touch the bottom of this zone, $31. I don't know, man. I don't know. This SMCI might want to come down. And if it does start consolidating and start, let's see if it does get, that positive news, strong demand for its performance computing solutions, blah blah blah. See if we do get more positive news, yeah, yeah, we can see this start pushing up. But guess what? Right now, I personally don't see this as a buy until we start getting again. First, I need to stop the bleeding, stop the bleeding, and then I want a consolidation and then a confirmation of a reversal. If we get a confirmation of reversal, sure, we can see bullish momentum. But let's come down to 31. Let's come down to those May levels, right? This is May Day, man. Come on, this SMCI been getting slaughtered. Yeah, Slaughterfest. All right, cool. It's officially 40 minutes done of you guys' stocks. Now we're going to tap into my stocks. We're going to start with hymns. If you guys saw the chat today, I know you guys saw the Discord today. Hymns, right? I said bearish on hymns. Let's break this 34.77 level, right? If you like me and you're watching the Broncos game, you would have seen that hymns kept coming on, hymns kept coming on, hymns kept coming on. And yeah, dead, right? Dead. So we break 34.77, we're dead, right? The same way same way Kansas City Chiefs lost the game, we're going to see Hims lose this 34.77 level and come down to $30. And I think this drop right here, that's a nice drop. That's a nice drop for us to prey on, right? Put this one on your radar for puts, but I think we need to break lower. If the market sells off, if the Russell sells off, if the small cap sell off, the growth stock sell off, Hims is going to come down further. Hims had earnings last 2 weeks ago, beginning of November, it sold off. Hims could come down further. Hims can come down further, folks. Hims can come down further. So that's my first one to watch. But let's watch the break of 34.77. I think it's good for leaps. I think we can see. I mean, we're gonna see that $62 level again. We'll see $100. I think when they get their things together, get everything in order. But right now, I think Hims wants to come down to 29.91. Yeah, I think Hims wants to come down to $30. So yeah, Hims is really Hims is going through it right now. Hims is going through it. Hims is going through it. That's all I can say. Next up, you guys know The ticker is AMD, Advanced Money Distributor. So, what do I like about AMD? Obviously, the market been doing this thing, up, down, up, down. AMD's up there. AMD's up there. And now, what I want to see for AMD, we got finished inside week. I want to see us go test that 260 level again. I love this company. You know, we've been investing in it since $80, $78. It's just going, wow, yeah. It's been a ride. It's hit all my price targets for the year. I think now that I see AMD, AMD all the way down, sorry, all the way up at 250s, 260s. I didn't expect it to be that high this year, but AMD can go further. Here's the daily time frame. Look at the daily time frame. We got a bounce. We got a nice bounce on the 21 EMA. We pushed to my 260 level and came down. And then, yeah, we hold in here. I think, again, you got to look at many time frames for this one. I think from what I see with AMD, it's gonna pull back to go higher. I think we're in this little bit of a zone. We're a bit stuck here. But Palantir did something similar a couple weeks ago before it exploded. AMD might be, you know, yeah, AMD might be the one. It might be the one. Yeah. So 260 is my price tag for AMD, and yeah. Next up, Microsoft. So Friday, I put like we had our stocks to watch. Microsoft was the one, right? I said I'm watching Tesla calls, Microsoft calls, IWM calls, right? Now Microsoft didn't even play games. The contracts went from $140 to $900 in the space of 3 hours, right? Look at, but Microsoft was on a beam. Look, we went from 497 to 511 in under 3 hours. So yeah, Microsoft, I'm still watching it for calls. Let me zoom out for you guys. Go weekly chart. Let me zoom out for you guys. Microsoft is the one. It is the one. Look at the weekly time frame. Inside week, we finished above the 21 EMA. And we got close to that 9-day EMA, but we finished inside week. That's giving me the hopes. Right? Microsoft had a great earnings. We touched highs of 552, but we came down. We sold off all the way under 500. Now we're back above that key $500 level, and we're starting to get ready. So my thing with Microsoft is obviously we're below all the EMAs. It's looking like it could get rejected, come back down. But for Microsoft, for me, I'm looking at those longer term contracts, right? Those January, February's, those March contracts up at the 550s again. I think we go there. I think, again, this is a company which it might not be getting all the hype of what Nvidia will get or Tesla will get or even Apple will get right now, but it's still a solid company. Look at the 4 hour chart. We starting to turn bullish again, right? We came down all this way, we recovered, we pulled back a little bit. 4 hour got an outside bar, we bullish engulfing candle, and we're starting to uptrend again. We closed above the 21 and the 9 on the 4 hour time frame. Microsoft can start getting busy. I believe that. I really do believe that. So Microsoft is on watch again. Let's be honest, Friday, I should have pulled the trigger earlier. I would have got a nice piece of this action. I would have got a nice piece of this action. But I was too slow. And it made me pay, right? Could have turned $300 into an easy 2,000. All right, we missed it, but don't worry. Microsoft is not done. It's not done yet, okay? Microsoft nice though. Microsoft is nice. Sometimes, just by the way, just to highlight, sometimes when you get caught up with those small tickers, you be missing some other plays. So don't always sleep on how do I say, don't be so focused on the small tickers that you miss out on the Microsoft because you think, oh, it's a $500 stock. I'm not going to play that. That's not the case, right? So I've done AMD, done Microsoft, done HIMS. Oh, of course, my good friend, ARM. So ARM. Now, this stock has been getting liquidated. All right? Liquidated. Look at the weekly chart. Boom, we came all the way down to 50 EMA. But hold on. Hold the phone. Last time price action was at the 50 EMA, we recovered. And we ended up going pretty much from 134 to 183. We're at the 50 EMA again. Now, for ARM to actually do something, not only do I need us to find some consolidation before the reversal, I need tech to start getting busy. I need QQQ to start getting busy, right? I need QQQ to start pushing again. I need Nvidia to, push again. I need SMCI, all of them to push again. Marvell and ARM is going to start pushing again. For me, the safest way to play this right now is just to wait, patiently wait. It can still fall lower. It can still come to 125, right? It was at 180 last month. It can come to down to 125, but I think we can start finding some level of support, finding some consolidation spots, and start uptrending again. We could take this back up to 157. I just got to be patient. I got to wait. I got to see it continue. I mean, I got to see something like this, right? Consolidation before we trend higher. If we can consolidate and trend higher, that's fine. If it just gaps up or gaps down, that's not clear price action for me. That's a bit too, it's a bit too vague, let's say. It's not no confirmation of what I want to see. So yeah, like I said, if you do want to play this, just be patient. I think it's going to come to us. Keep it on watch though. All right, next up, stock number 5, SoFi. So SoFi Technologies. Guess what, guys? We are back. Hold on. Here's a weekly time frame. We're back near the 9-day EMA on the weekly time frame. Cool. We was up there. We were way overbought. Cool. $32 we came down. I like the way it's riding this EMA. I like the way it's been riding this EMA this whole year, all the way. Let's say from April at least then, after the Liberation Day. I like the way it's been riding this EMA on the weekly time frame. Now the daily time frame, it's a little bit tough because every time SoFi seems to start doing well and getting active, you don't want to make the extra push up to that $34 line, right? $34 is my golden time, my golden target for that, right? All right, cool. SoFi doesn't want to do that just yet. What you can do is on them red days, them sell-off days, buy the calls, give yourself enough time, and it seems to recover. So we're back near the level where we was back November the 7th, and we could push for that $32 price point again. That's a $5 run. That's a strong percentage gain if you're in calls. But again, I want to see SoFi, I want to see SoFi show me a bit more on multiple time frames. Look, 4 hours kind of, got it finished. You got the inside bar, it's kind of weak a little bit below the EMAs. Um, for me, again, it's got to wait for them red days and then take advantage of it. I don't know if SoFi's really, I don't know if really it should be down there, but hey, it is there right now. I don't know why they can't just push it to 34, but hey, it's what it is. So SoFi, and this is SMCI. Why they show me this? I see Bitcoin lost 94K, or it's down to 94K, I should say. So SoFi's up 2% after hours. Yeah, I mean, if SoFi does start getting busy, at least have that $30 price point as your first price target, and then you can start looking for 32. SoFi seems to get rejected at $30 level a lot of the time. So yeah. All right, next up, Chipotle. Chipotle. So everyone knows we're in Chipotle for the leaps, okay? Weekly time frame, they had earnings, they sold off. Cool, we know that. But now, daily time frame, we started to try and get busy. We're still stuck below the EMAs, so the 9-day EMAs we're wicking off 9 EMA coming down a little bit. But Friday, I started to see more of what I want to see with CMG, so Chipotle. Okay, here, look at this chart. This is what I've been waiting to see. Thursday, Friday, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We've started to see some strong price action intraday. And that's where it starts. It's not always that it's going to start on the daily time frame. It's not always going to be super strong there. We start with a 50-minute, 1 hour. We've started showing some signs of life, right? Look at the hourly consolidation before we broke out. Now we're coming back to to the EMAs, got a golden crossover. We might be trying to trend higher. We might be trying to trend higher. So yeah, Chipotle, I mean, I'm already trying to take it up to $34 and then $38. This might be the week we start to get busy. This might be the week that we start to get busy. Okay. Let's say, and this is a far-fetched example. Let's say Trump comes out with this stimulus check, this $2,000 stimulus check, right? Everybody getting paid, right? A lot of people are very financially irresponsible. A lot of people, let's be honest, are going to Cheesecake Factory, they're going to Chipotle, they're going to McDonald's, but a lot of them are pumping it back into the restaurant industry. A lot of them are consumers, right? Not everyone's putting their money in stock market. And I'm serious with that. So just keep down your radar, right? I'm not saying everyone's splashing 2,000 on Chipotle. No, I'm not saying that. But yo, $30 here, $40 there from a lot of people will definitely go back into this one. So yeah, hey, Chipotle's revenue might, start increasing with this stimulus check, this tariff check. Okay, now I just mentioned one of the other stocks I'm looking at, Cheesecake Factory. So I'm actually looking at this, funny enough, for puts. You can see from the weekly time frame, we are just selling off, selling off. And again, I'm a shareholder in this. Love the company for long term. I've definitely had my fair share of wins with this one, but right now they're going through a harder time. So from the weekly chart, right, I'm just going to draw this level for you guys. It's a very important level. It's a level where we bounced that last time, right? Level of support. We bounced that. We pushed all the way from $42 all the way up to 69. Okay, we might need to come down to that level again before we find some sign of support. So yeah, Chipotle puts are definitely on the cards. We've got the inverted hammer candle there. You know, you've got plenty of follow through with the red candles. Every time the green candle, like every pop comes through, they short it. Plenty of shorting on the pops. So yeah, Chipotle can come down to 42.77. Sorry, Cheesecake Factory can come down to 42.77. Just beware of that. Then Nvidia. All right. So let's look at the weekly time frame. Just like AMD, we came down, right? We pushed up to 212, we came down. We come back now near the EMAs. And this is what I like to see before I, take calls, right? I want to see a push up before we pull back, before we push up again, right? A retest of the EMAs, retest the previous support levels. So in this case, Nvidia, let's say again, ARM, Marvell, AMD, SMCI, QQ all start to get busy. Yeah, we could see Nvidia start pushing back up to 195. Maybe 208 might be far-fetched for this week, but definitely the 195, a $5 run. That would be something I look to swing. Let me see what Nvidia's doing right now. Already at 192. So yeah, but we'll see. It could still follow through. It could still go do more. But yeah, I'm just definitely looking at Nvidia. I like the close here. I like this close. I do like this close. Very strong green candle. Very strong close. And then again, you go to the 4 hour time frame. It is stuck under the EMAs, but it looks like it wants to get busy. It wants to get busy, right? So Nvidia, yeah, again, 195 is the price target for this week. If we can get up further than that, probably not breaking 200, I don't think. Again, unless the whole of tech really gets busy and the market starts running. Maybe if job reports comes out Thursday, great numbers. We'll see. All right, I've got two more stocks for you guys. Just two more stocks, that's it. First of all, I'm going to go with Eli Lilly. So, Eli Lilly, look at the weekly time frame. Look at how beautiful this is. Now, this is sometimes what we want to see. All right, so I'm going to highlight three things here, and you're going to see why. First, number one, that's not the highlighter. Here we go. Number one, this pullback after we, pushed out. Actually, wait, let me do it this way. After we pushed out, this pullback. Great. This is the weekly time frame, right? Second thing I want to highlight, breaking levels. We broke two of my levels to the upside. This is great. This is beautiful, right? And then the third thing I want to point out, let me zoom out. Let me zoom out so you can see where I'm looking at, right? We're above all the previous highs from July. We're above all of them. We're above all of them. And that's three things I like to see. So again, the breakout before the pullback, that's one. Pure bullish price action above the EMAs, that's two. And now we've got past the previous highs, that's three. So for me personally, if we do pull back $20, $25, $30, I'll definitely be looking at something going on here to the back up to the upside. I think we can come down here. Let me get this off. I think we can come back down $30 and we hold. I'll be looking to take it higher. I know a few of you in the Discord caught this run up. Great. That's incredible, right? It had about 12 green days and only one red day in that time, which was a hammer candle. So they even pushed that price up. They were like, we're trying to close above. But yeah, they look at the candle. They tried to push that price action all the way back up, right? Almost ended up forming a dragonfly doji actually. So yeah, Eli Lilly looking really good, looking really strong. Yeah, I like this. I needed to pull back first before I get in it, but looks like it's on the money making train right now. And then last but not least, so I'm actually swinging calls in Walmart right now. If I look at it, WMT, probably around $102 right now, I'm guessing. 102.85. So it's pushed up a little bit. So I'm swinging calls. Right. So let's start with the weekly. We'll go to daily 4 hour. If you see my YouTube videos, you know that's exactly how we break it down. So we finished inside week. Cool. They wicked it up, they wicked it down. but if effectively we finished up here, which is nice. Still below the 9-day EMA. That's okay though. The daily time frame. This is incredible hammer candle, right? This is a strong body hammer candle right here. This could start to get busy. Now, if we go to zoom out a little bit, right? Zoom out a little bit. You can see there's a price point over here where we gapped down. Let me just highlight that in the box for you. Where is it? Oh, it's always this one, right? Yeah. There's a price point where we gap down. We got a gap right here. So I'm gonna draw this gap across just so you can have a level, right? We got a gap right here. This candle came down into the gap on the daily time frame on the Friday. You know, the daily time frame, daily candle came into this gap and came back out, closed up here. Look at the 4 hour chart, right? Similar story. You know, obviously starting to try and get busy. It's still below the EMAs. It's still below the EMAs. It is still below the EMAs. But realistically, you know, I called it out Friday to swing. I'm swinging it. I want us to see at least 103, you know, 103.34, 103, yeah, 103.40. I want us to see that level, which is just above the 50 EMA. That's why I'm swinging calls with it. I think I got a nice bounce on the $99 level. That's always nice to see, you know, strong bounce. Follow through with the hourly candles, straight follow through, straight green candles on Friday. Obviously, I was a bit late with my calls. They were not 0 DTE, so you know I have time on them. I mean, well, I say time. I have a week expiry on them, so I didn't have to, you know, trade it 0 DTE Friday. But obviously, if you did trade it 0 DTE Friday, you got paid, right? Every single time it pulled back, it went higher. Even though the red candles are very small anyway. 5 minute chart, you can see, you know, it was strong. It was strong. But yeah, again, Walmart. I like the fact that we came into this zone, came straight back out of it, and we're pushing, right? It's not a red candle hanging in the zone, you know. It's a green candle straight pushing out. Crazy strong body on the daily time frame. And yeah, let me check the Discord real quick. All right, poor earnings. Beyond had news, but I can't remember. APL deep. SMCI dead body. AMD gap fill going to be nice. Yep. Going to be looking at leaps for Beyond. Probably jump in weeks too. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I mean, there's some stocks which I'd love to get some leaps, some more leaps on. You know, PayPal's one of them, but the way we've been behaving, like this just looks like it wants to come lower. It doesn't look like it wants to show me any love right now. But hey, when we back up at 119, 122, we're gonna have a good time. But right now, they're just struggling. They're in a difficult spot right now. But yeah, they got a good CEO. They've got projects coming. They've been growing this. They've been doing well actually. Their numbers have been good this year. Yeah. Hopefully it's not like the growth has slowed down from past times, but hopefully it's not something that's a sign of what's to come. Yeah. Any other questions? Drop it in the chat. Any other questions? I see some people message me on here. Okay. Yeah, for future reference, just drop the questions in the Discord so that I can see it here. Just drop it in the if you drop it in the questions in the Discord, it's easier. Someone said look at BE, Bloom Energy. Weekly time frame, yeah, bearish week, but looks like it's pulling back for the good. Daily time frame, you've got inverted hammer coming off the 50 EMA. Yeah, this is like a pullback to go higher again. 4 hour, a lot of these time frames, the 4 hour stuck under the EMAs, and it's not as clear price action. But I like what I see though. You know, when we were at this level previously, we pushed back up. So it looks like it started to do that Friday as well. Like I said, put all them questions in the Discord so then everyone can see it. You know, we are sharing Discord, we're loving Discord. We, you know, contact each other for help and we make sure that we put each other on. So just put every question in the chat in the Discord, as you guys have been doing today. That's good. And then last thing I'll say is you guys might have seen on Friday, Can't Hide posted her book, $17, $18 book. Go check that one out. You know, it's supporting a fellow Discord member. So I'll be buying a couple of those copies, you know, and yeah, make sure you go support her. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's watch list. As always, make sure you just drop your questions in the Discord. I'm gonna see you guys in there. If you enjoyed it, drop a thank you in the chat. Appreciate you. And yeah, we're gonna make it a great week. definitely the idea of this week is to be patient, let the plays come to us, and then we capitalize on it. So yeah, that's it, folks. Appreciate you. Make sure you're at the study sessions this week in the Discord too. And make sure you do not sleep on the job. Don't be late. Be awake. Don't miss the place. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to see you guys next time for another video.